Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your weekend astrology forecast for September 9th and 10th of 2023. I should have made this video last night. It's 8:46, and I gotta leave here in like the next 30 minutes. And I usually make a 30-minute video, but honestly, looking at the astrology for this weekend, there's not a whole lot going on. It's going to be pretty chill as far as major aspects go. Now, that's not to say, now there's a reason why I put the meditation as what I put it, calm your emotions and nourish your joy. Because I really think that that's what this week is going to come down to. Since we don't have a lot of major energies, a lot of major aspects happening, so this forecast will probably be also a bit on the shorter end, maybe more of a channeling and stuff. But because there's not a whole lot going on, we can potentially create drama this weekend. You know, especially with so many planets in retrograde and only really Mars that's moving fast, but it's in its detriment in Libra, of course. There's not a whole lot going on. And so if you're not tapped into the metaphysical nature of the moon and the sun this weekend, and you're focused on all the other planets, and since they're not making a whole lot of aspects and they're pretty much stuck and the energy is just not moving, if you get angsty and nervous this weekend and try and force some things to happen, you can find yourself in some weird ass situations because you feel like you need something to kind of give juice to this weekend, but it's just simply not there. This is going to be literally a weekend where we have to kind of just watch things move by like they're clouds in the sky. Like our thoughts, our emotions, we have to treat them as clouds in the sky and just take care of our joy this weekend. So let's take a look at it. So as the weekend starts, as of the current moment, we do have the moon here at 16 degrees, making a nice little sextile over to the sun at 16 degrees. This pretty much kicks off the whole weekend. This is why I'm saying to really tap into the metaphysical nature of the sun and the moon. Because 1 plus 6 is 7, and 7 is the number of Pisces, the number of Neptune, which brings it to a more spiritual aspect. And remember, this is a positive aspect. This is a sextile. This brings an opportunity, you know. So, moon in Cancer, of course, it's at home, likes to feel good. Sun in Virgo, it's actually feeling good too. You know, it's definitely ironing some things out. It's over halfway through Virgo, where that means that the solstice, well, not the solstice, hold on, excuse me, the equinox, not the solstice, geez, the autumnal equinox, at least here in the northern hemisphere, and of course the vernal equinox, you know, in the southern, is coming right here. So am I getting that right? Yeah. We're about to enter into fall in the north, and we're about to enter into spring in the southern hemisphere. We are about 2 weeks away from that point. So, this is definitely bringing up this moment where, Virgo season is all about the harvest in many ways. You can say Libra kind of is too, but Virgo season is about seeing the hard work that we put in the first, 5 months of the year, of the astrological year, and then the 6 month is like when you kind of do it's like that last little final push, right, before you make your harvest, right? So we're getting to a very important point now. Summer's almost over here in the northern hemisphere. Winter is almost done in the southern hemisphere. Tapping into the metaphysical nature of this time is going to be key. And there's going to be an opportunity to do so this weekend. For example, like my wife, she volunteered to help out with this women's spiritual retreat that it's actually the little metaphysical shop that I'm working out of. Actually, I only work there a couple, like maybe one day a week, but maybe a couple times, and I do astrology and tarot readings out of there. The owner of it is putting on like a women's retreat, and my wife volunteered to drive like a shuttle to drive women to there. But then there's going to be a period of time where she's going to actually be able to just decompress and do her own thing as well, tapping to the metaphysical nature of things. I work today, but I'm gonna have time later on to just kind of chill out and do my thing. So it's like there's gonna be opportunities this weekend to kind of just chill out and relax and to decompress. I think that's honestly what this weekend's going to be about. Not about really forcing the issue too much, but just kind of tapping into the simplicity of this moment, right? So we start off the weekend with that. As you move things forward, of course. Now, I didn't put this in the ticker below, but we are going to see the moon square Chiron as well. What's interesting about this is that I put the wrong thing. I put I think at the bottom I put Sun King Kong's Chiron, and I don't think that's what I meant to put. I think I meant to put something else. Don't know what I was looking at. So it's starting to King Kong's Chiron, but it's not quite there. But anyways, the moon is going to make the square over to Chiron, right? So it's like we get that metaphysical nature, and then we get to this point where it actually makes the square to Chiron. This isn't going to last for long. It's only going to be a couple hours. So you're going to see most of the things that are happening this weekend is because of the moon. The moon is making an aspect to this planet, and then this planet, and then this planet, and then this planet. As far as planets to each other, you're not going to see a whole lot, if anything, this weekend. Which is why it's like if you are tapped into your emotions, you can be aware of the impulses that come up as the moon is making these various aspects. But if you're not in tune to your emotions, or if you suppress your emotions, then whatever lessons that come up whenever the moon makes these certain aspects, you're going to, well, you'll fail, honestly. Let's just be honest. You'll fail. And if you suppress them, then they can start to take a life of their own, especially as the moon continues to make its way around the zodiac. That's the thing about it. If you don't address an issue in that moment when it comes up, the longer you allow the moon to hit that same spot as it goes around, the longer it festers and it begins to take a life on its own. That's how people get stuck in depression. That's how people get stuck in clouds. Like their head will be in the clouds. That's how these things will take on a life of their own and almost become like little sprites and little spirits that just kind of leech onto our energy. But it's all self-created. And the way that you get rid of them, like you're the one that has to exercise these energies too. Any type of stuck emotion that is just like, oh my gosh, like this one little thing happened to me. And then you just hold on to it and hold on to it. And then as the moon keeps going around, it hits that same spot, it hits that same spot, it hits that same spot without you addressing it. It fortifies it, it makes it stronger and gives it more energy and gives it more food, if you will, to grow and grow and grow and grow. I told you this was probably going to be more of like a channeling, right? So let's just take this one for example, right? The moon is going to square over to Chiron, right? If you have issues with expressing who you are and your identity, and you don't really feel comfortable doing so, then you're going to have issues. Or there's another thing. Here's another one too. Say you are comfortable expressing your identity, but maybe people don't necessarily understand it or get it, or maybe they don't accept it. Are you going to allow their opinions and stuff like that of you? Are you going to allow that to take place and hold you from the inside to where you can't move, forcing you to be inauthentic? Or are you going to keep it moving? So it's both ways. It's like you could be afraid to express who you are because of some sort of past trauma, if you will, even though this is like your quirk, right? So let's just say that your superpower is that you can read a 1,000 page book in 5 minutes and fully comprehend it, right? So let's just say that that's your superpower. What if, and it's a damn good superpower. Imagine what you can do with that superpower, right? And if you were comfortable with that superpower, then this square, this challenge it wouldn't be that big of an issue because it's something that it's something that you can overcome and you can use to your advantage and propel you forward. But if you like say if you hang out with like a group of people, right? Say if you're hanging out with a bunch of other people with their quirks, one of them can fly, one of them has super strength, one of them can shoot lasers from their eyes, one of them can shoot chi blast from your hands, and you're the one that can read a book, 1,000-page book in 5 minutes, and they start to scope you, like you join that party of heroes, and they're like, your power is stupid. It's lame. You can't even fight with it. It's dumb. Are you going to listen to them? To their opinion of you? Or are you going to embrace your joy? Being able to read a 1,000-page book in 5 minutes and comprehend it, that's incredible. That's an incredible superpower. I'd argue that's probably stronger than the other ones I just mentioned. But that's the thing. We can get so caught up in our head about what other people think and say about us, and we won't even be comfortable in expressing who we really are. So say for example, if that was you, right? And then bam, every time that the moon will go over Chiron, it reactivates it. And if a situation will come up that reminds you of it, and if you can't get past it, then it keeps going. And then when the moon hits that 19 degrees of Cancer again, it'll do the same thing, and it will happen over and over and over again until you finally address it. And that thing that comes up, that emotion, which will turn into a sprite or an apparition, and will start to leech your energy, will get bigger and bigger and bigger until you actually address it. And we all do this, right? We all don't necessarily just let go of things immediately, right? So we all have different sprites and energies and propensities and things that are various, that have various, I guess, sizes in their influence in our life. Influence, like inside fluent, yeah, right? Emotion, right? And it can be it's positive and negative, right? But I'm speaking mostly to like the negative emotions, right? Because positive and negative. Because if it's something's like a positive emotion, of course you want to feed that more life, right? And I'm not saying to like not address and feel your negative emotions. I'm saying not to dwell on them, right? So that's just an example, right? So that moon is going to then, of course, sextile Uranus, 10:48 p.m. Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time. Once again, we have an opportunity that opens up via this moon and Uranus energy. 2 + 3 is 5, so it's going to be a very mercurial kind of deal. The moon is going to be in the decan ruled by Neptune, and the moon will actually trine Neptune after this aspect too. So this is an opportunity to actually, in many ways, connect with other individuals, right? In a more intellectual way. But with the moon being in Cancer, of course, it's like, feeling safe and secure to be able to connect with these other people that, maybe they have different values than you, but I think it's about finding people that do share those same values with you. So there's an opportunity to actually talk with people and meet with people that share your values, or can maybe give you a different kind of perspective on your situation, and may even show you where it's like, oh wow, you have that really cool quirk. Yeah, that's awesome. This is the moment, like after the square to Chiron, where you actually meet that person that appreciates the fact that you can read a 1,000-page book in 5 minutes and comprehend it. It'll make you think differently about your situation. Moon trine Neptune, 26 degrees. 2 + 6 is 8. 8 is Saturn, right? Decisions. Making a decision spiritually, especially as the moon is coming into its opposition with Pluto, which happens at 28 degrees, right? I see what I'll say. The sun does actually begin to King Kong's Chiron, because Chiron actually comes off that 19 degree finally and moves to 18 degrees. It's been at 19 degrees for a while. It's been at it for a while, but the moon is going to, of course, oppose Pluto. Activating, once again, even though it's a little bit on the looser end, this grand cross between the moon, the nodes, and Pluto, which is getting activated quite a bit. This cardinal cross is getting activated quite a bit. Now, the good thing about this moon opposed Pluto is that it's not the worst, because the moon actually makes a lot of very positive aspects during this. The main ones, I guess, that aren't per se as positive is the square to the nodes, but it makes a lot of positive aspects, especially to powerful energies like the sun. It begins the weekend making that aspect, which is the most powerful one, the sextile to the sun. So this opposition to Pluto, it's gone through this plenty of times, but at this point, it should be well equipped to be able to handle this, especially considering the fact with all these planets that are retrograde, the moon moves the fastest. It doesn't retrograde. It's always going forward. So that's the thing about it. Because the planet of emotion and this metaphysical aspect and the first sign of intuition, if you will, although the intuition is more of like it's more about the self. Scorpio is when you start to really develop the intuition about other people. So this is about like, wow, do you believe in yourself? You know, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you have the ability, excuse me, to overcome your like whatever challenges that are going on right now? Especially in a world that is definitely changing forever, that has changed forever. Where's your resolve to make it through these moments? And this happens early Sunday morning, right? Bam, moon moves into Leo. Sun's going to be dispositing it after just having sextile it. And we're getting closer to the dark moon phase. So the light on the moon is becoming less. Becoming less. We're about to not be able to see the moon. So some people may see this as like a sliver of hope, if you will, going into the new moon of Virgo, which I think is going to be a very powerful new moon. Probably one of the most powerful ones of the year, I feel. And maybe I'm only saying that because it's conjunct my midheaven, but I really do think that this new moon in Virgo is going to be a major shifting point. It's going to actually really determine and separate those that are willing to put in the work to make it through these times and those that are just going to fall right back into the same old habits, the same old ways of being. And you'll see come the full moon in Pisces and the next Virgo season, like you kind of got to get your shit in gear right now, because if you don't get it in gear right now, 2024 is just going to be that much harder on you, because the kind of the stories that are going to be coming out, it's going to be a highly politicized year already. So you're going to be bombarded with all that sort of stuff, and being able to navigate all of that energy, right? But you don't have like your own personal stuff in order, your own personal shit in order, and establishing a better routine and better habits and spiritual habits so you can navigate this world and become an arc in a world that's going to seem like it's crazy and we're going to be flooded with all kinds of information. How do you become an arc onto yourself so you can navigate this shit and not have the storm just destroy you? We'll see that moon around 5:48. It's going to make the king conks over to Saturn. It's going to be an emotional one. 2 and 2. The moon is it's Cancer, right? So it's about getting into your joy and stuff like that and your happiness, and you can actually turn your joy and creativity and do something with it, but it still has to have some kind of structure to the dream. It's not just necessarily enough to, be inspired by, moon in Leo is definitely it can be a very inspiring kind of energy. And the desire to really express oneself, be creative, But with the moon that's like losing its light right now, of course it's just the light that's reflected off the sun. But with the moon, it's losing its light, and it's going to be like a sliver. And a king comes over to Saturn and Pisces, which is wanting to give structure to the dream, or keep people trapped in the matrix more, especially from a spiritual standpoint. It's like, yeah, you got to reach in. This is about having like a deeper resolve. You know what I mean? That even when it seems like the light is fading at nighttime, what about that inner light? So as you can see, like pretty much by the end of the day, 11:48, you're going to see that sun at 18 degrees, and bam, you have the Chiron here at 18 degrees as well. It'll be more exact the following day, but it does start here with the moon at 5 degrees, coming into the balsamic phase of the moon. Very much so, very close to it, right? And we'll join up with Venus and Juno the following day. So as you can see, there's not really seemingly a whole lot going on, but there kind of is. It's just going to be like one little impulse, one little thing here, one little thing there, one little thing there. And then these aspects, like I said, you'll feel them exact for about 2 hours. Like you'll kind of feel them come up, and then it'll hit like its climax, and then it'll hit its resolution, and then it just keeps going. You really want to pay attention to this weekend too, because like I said, I think it could be a very positive weekend of just becoming self-aware of like your tendencies, your habits, how you respond to different situations. It doesn't have to be a drama-filled weekend. The drama in this weekend will come if you go out and create it yourself and go looking for drama, because it feels like everything is slow and not moving. But that's not true. You still have the moon and the sun. Mars is going forward. It's just not in the best place, right? So for some people, it can feel like they're at the end of the road. Like they're just trying to make something happen. Just almost like kind of just throwing shit at, like throwing paint at the wall, seeing what sticks. That's the kind of energy it feels like. But there's so much, you're so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Just because things feel slow right now doesn't mean that you can't progress. It doesn't mean that you can't evolve and become more self-aware. I think that honestly, that's what this whole week is about. It's about self-awareness, and it's about, you know, it's like calming our emotions, if you will. Like it says at the bottom, I'm gonna wait for it to come across. A meditation for the weekend. Calm your emotions and nourish your joy. That's how you get through this weekend. Calm your emotions and nourish your joy. Appreciate your joy this weekend. That's where your strength is. Let's get into the cards. Fortunately, I got most of my other stuff done before I have to go to work, so I don't have to really do too much after this. As you can see, I need to shave. I need to shave. I'm probably going to end up throwing on a hat going into work. But the funny thing is that I'm working at one of the slowest stores. So that's the other thing. I'm going to work, but I'm working at the slowest store in the whole company today. So, like, I may get 3 or 4 people today. In like the span of like what? 8 hours, 8 to 9 hours. So it's going to give me time to kind of like focus on some other stuff. And I do have to actually have some tasks I have given myself. So some things I got to take care of. All right. What are the cards for this weekend? Harmony. 10 of Cups. Told you it was going to be a weekend that was focused on emotion. Calm your emotions and nourish your joy. How do you calm your emotions? Meditate, chill out, relax. Oh no, what happened? Oh my gosh. What did I do? Oh my gosh. Ah, oh my gosh. What was that? What did I do? Oops. I think I accidentally unplugged my camera. It's probably like the key for me to go. So that's another thing. Like weird little things like that may happen. Are you going to keep your calm through that? See, I'm just laughing it off because it's funny. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, when weird little shit like that happens, are you going to be able to like keep calm? Are you going to be willing to find the harmony in those situations? You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. And we have the card of change, the Wheel of Fortune, but it's in reverse. I can't believe I have this superpower where I can read a 1,000-page book in 5 minutes and fully comprehend it. That sucks. Does it? Or are you just not using it to its fullest capability? Or are you using it in the wrong situations, in the wrong place? Are you applying your purpose in an area where your purpose can't even shine fully? So weird thing about this deck is that some of the words for it, I know that this deck got a lot of flack for this card, the schizophrenia card. This is the Two of Swords. This is an inability to see in a different way, an inability to move forward, feeling a stalemate. And like, I mean, this person honestly kind of looks screwed. He's just gonna have to let go and let God. That's the only way he's gonna be able to get out of that situation, right? I think that's kind of what this is. It's like, don't trip out this weekend. Don't trip out this weekend too hard, because if you do that, then you'll just create your own drama, and that's not this kind of weekend to create your own drama. The weekend to chill out, meditate, and like I said in yesterday's video, to spend time with family and loved ones and stuff. Kind of keep it simple. Don't take things super seriously this weekend. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I really got to get ready. Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. Healing energy flows through you. She's sitting here with the owl back there. She has the moon on her head, the crescent moon, which we are going into that phase right now. She's wearing this beautiful white robe. Healing energy flows through you. And that's really what it comes down to. This would be a great weekend for healing, especially we need this going into a new moon in Virgo. And remember, this is the first time that the moon is, conjuncting Venus again while it's come forward. It's still in its shadow, but at least it's coming forward in Leo now. The last time the moon was there, Venus was retrograde. Last time it conjuncted it. So there's I mean, that's going to be more of like a Monday aspect, you know what I mean? But it does come into Leo. So I mean, that's the cool thing about it. So there's a lot of the healing to happen this weekend. Like I said, don't force the issue, don't cause drama, shit like that. Just chill out, and you'll make it through this weekend. It's a lot more positive, even though a lot of things aren't really happening. So if you're like angsty and if you're apprehensive and you try and just force things to happen just to kind of feel like you're going somewhere and doing something, then just remember that this weekend is going to be one of healing. You can have the harmony and just, like I said, cultivate your joy this weekend. That's how you're going to make it through. So still end up going 30 minutes. Look at that. But ironically, because the store that I'm working at is pretty close, I'm probably still going to make it on time. So look at that. I procrastinated on making this video. Should have made it earlier. And I'm probably still going to be Gucci. That's kind of how the energy is this weekend. You may make something a lot bigger in your head, but you're probably still going to be Gucci. That's going to do it for your forecast this weekend. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you would like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday's astrology forecast. Peace.